midnight, as we somehow expected, the guards left their post and formed a line like Mother Goose and her goslings, walking to the main building for the changing of the guards. We wasted no time and crouched to the fence on our elbows, infantry style. As a cloud began to cover the moon, we threw a tree branch upon the top wire of the fence and climbed across it into no man's land while staying low to the ground. After about 15 minutes of crawling through no man's land in the dark, we spotted another fence and crossed it in like manner. But to our surprise, when the moon blinked through the clouds again, we noticed Ivan swinging his arms and trying to keep circulation in his hands by rubbing them together on that cool night. He had ventured in accordance to our methodical and precise upbringing and thought that the border would follow a straight line instead of following a valley. We had crossed the jagged Russian border right into no man's land, but right back onto the Russian side, all within 20 minutes. Nobody had posted instructions and road maps for us as pertaining to the location of the border. Imagine how we felt, but having no alternative, we crawled back up the hill through the bushes into the forest, and there we waited all day for the next midnight change of the guard. In the daytime we were able to see parts of the British side because there was a hustle and bustle in a nearby town where people were working and everything was lit up in the evening. At noon we saw a British-built Meteor jet fighter flying along the border, which was rather interesting to my brother, who had volunteered for the German Air Force. In the middle of the afternoon we saw 2 Russian guards making their way towards us. Maybe they had spotted us from their fire tower type observation towers, or it was just a routine border search. They walked just one row away from us but towards us in that planted forest of Christmas trees, the latter being about 7 feet tall. The lead guard in his open camouflage uniform, hooking behind the bare blueberry bushes, walking forward while being turned towards the other side and passing by us as we hid and slid around the bushy trees in order not to be seen, while the second guard was trying to pick up the first guard's one-man tent type camouflage overcoat. Both were brandishing a drum-type machine pistol. They would have shot us on sight at the border, because the only clothing that was available to us were discarded, worn-out army uniforms. I surely believe in God and in guardian angels. The only slightly comparable incident that I can think of is in the scriptures, where the eyes of the pursuers could not find the Savior while walking through the crowd right past them in midday, because their eyes were turned away. We thanked God and hid ourselves again until midnight. At midnight we went through the same maneuver and got into the no man's land again, undetected. This time we headed at a sharper angle towards a British border, anticipating a curve in the border. There came the next surprise. A slightly frozen over river right in the middle between the borders in no man's land. A 3-strand barbed wire spanned the river to the other side, which once served the farmers and stopped cattle during the summer from going into the neighboring fields. We were hoping that the old wire would hold our weight, since we only weighed a rickety 72 and 73 pounds respectively. We waited for cloud cover and slid our rucksack across the ice. Then I proceeded in a balancing act, standing on the lowest wire, which broke through the ice, and holding onto the top wire as I crossed hand over hand to the other side, where I jumped onto dry ground to safety. My brother followed, but was not so lucky in his jump to freedom. He missed the mark by a few feet and sank into the muddy water. He changed his socks and pants quickly, and we were off on our way, carefully approaching a border hamlet. I'm an adventurer. My life's prospects were very dim in Germany in 1951. My brother Klaus and I made a New Year's Eve resolution to immigrate to the New World. We thought of going to the USA, the Argentine, Australia or Canada, and applied for visas. Canada called first, so we looked at the map and chose Ottawa as our destination. We crossed the ocean aboard the USNS ship Harry Taylor. As a graduate from an agricultural college, my visa was farm-based. I was slated for farm work in Cumberland, Ontario. It lasted only until the 30th of January 1953. After that, I went to the employment office and signed up as a special constable in the RCMP. My brother and I found lodging on Nelson Street with Harry and Dina O'Regan. Harry happened to be a good friend of June's brother Earl Bennett, who lived just 2 blocks down the street. A little house party was arranged to welcome June's oldest sister, who was visiting at the time. The O'Regans asked Klaus and myself to attend. My brother was asked if he would like to play his accordion. He was a master player at it. June came along with her family. I was always partial to blondes and had noticed June before on my way home from work. As I was walking down Nelson Street, my eyes always wandered